Welcome to Document Support Services Podcast, Episode 3. Today we are going to learn about autism spectrum disorder.
Great topic.
Yeah, and we're specifically looking at understanding ASD, especially thinking about early support for children and young adults. And that's something Document Support Services has, well, over 40 years experience with.
Indeed. A long history there.
Absolutely. So we've got our expert here to help us unpack ASD. Could you maybe start us off with the basics? What exactly is ASD?
Sure. So, fundamentally, ASD is a neurodevelopmental disability. It affects how people communicate, how they process information, and basically how they interact with the world around them.
Okay. And we hear the term spectrum used all the time. What does that really mean in practice?
Right. The spectrum idea is key. Think of it like, well, maybe a rainbow, lots of colors blending together. It means the challenges individuals experience can range quite widely. Some might face, milder difficulties, perhaps mainly in social situations, while others might need more significant support with communication or daily living skills.
It's not one size fits all then.
Not at all. It's incredibly diverse. That's why the term ASD replaced older labels like autistic disorder or Asperger syndrome. It acknowledges these shared core challenges, but also the huge variation in how they show up.
That makes sense. And you mentioned language earlier, implicitly maybe. Is there preferred terminology?
Yes, that's important. Many autistic adults prefer identity-first language, so saying autistic person rather than person with autism. It's about recognizing autism as an integral part of their identity.
Good to know. I saw a statistic that something like 1 to 2 in 100 Australians are autistic. That seems quite high.
It is significant, yeah. It really highlights how common autism is, and there's often a genetic link too. You might see it running in families.
So let's talk about those core challenges. Social communication and repetitive behaviors are often mentioned. How might these look in very young children, like infants or preschoolers?
Well, the signs can be subtle early on. Maybe differences in interaction, less back and forth communication, perhaps. Sometimes delays in speech or using words in sort of unusual ways. Nonverbal things, too, like differences in eye contact or using gestures like pointing.
Okay. What about play? I've heard autistic children might play differently.
Yeah, that's common. For example, instead of pushing a toy car around and making vroom noises, a child might be fascinated by just spinning the wheels over and over, or they might meticulously line up their toys and get quite distressed if someone moves them.
Interesting. And sensory sensitivities.
Oh, definitely. Big one. Hypersensitivity, so being very sensitive to sounds, maybe textures of clothes or food, smells, or sometimes hyposensitivity, needing more sensory input. This can lead to very particular food preferences or aversions, for instance.
Right. And as kids get older, say primary school age.
The social communication side often becomes more apparent then. Things like navigating conversations, understanding sarcasm or implied meanings, picking up on social cues, those can be trickier. Also, a strong need for routine and finding changes or transitions difficult. Intense interests in specific topics are also common.
And the school environment itself, all that noise and activity.
Exactly. That can be really overwhelming. Sensory overload is a real challenge, potentially leading to meltdowns or the child needing to withdraw to cope.
Okay, so given all this variety, how does diagnosis actually work? There's no single test, right?
Correct. No blood test or scan. It involves a really thorough evaluation looking at developmental history, behavior, communication patterns. Often a team approach is best. Psychologists, speech pathologists, occupational therapists working together. Parents and caregivers know the child best, their quirks, triggers, joys. That insight is essential for making sense of the assessment and building a useful support plan.
Definitely. We've covered so much. If you had to boil it down, what are maybe the top 3 takeaways for listeners?
Okay, top 3. First, remember those core challenges: social communication, repetitive behaviors. They look different in everyone. It's a spectrum. Second, trust your gut. If you have concerns about a child's development, seek professional advice. Early support really helps. And third, every autistic person is unique. Support needs to be tailored to them, and it will likely change over time.
That adaptability seems key. It's about empowering individuals to lead fulfilling lives. And Document Support Services sounds like a key resource there. How can people find out more?
Their website is a great resource, www.documen.com.au. You can find details about their services, resources for families, and even contact information to get in touch with their team.
Perfect. www.documen.com.au. Thank you so much for sharing all this knowledge today. It's been really valuable.
It was my pleasure. Happy to talk about it.
And a big thank you to our listeners for tuning in. We hope this gives you a better understanding of ASD and the supports available. Check out that website, www.documen.com.au. Keep learning, keep exploring, and let's keep supporting one another.